Hey, and welcome to the M3 Monday show. This is not lunch anymore, but
Well, for some of us it is.
how are you doing, Greg?
No, it's all good. It's Monday, and it's later
Yeah.
in the afternoon than we normally do. But it's really good. Thank you guys for joining us each and every time. I am your host today, the talented Mr. Drayton, and I have Wednesday nights on Malcolm the Philosopher King. Catch him Wednesday nights on this very channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
Wednesdays. Also, if you're into podcasts, every Friday he releases a new episode of his podcast. Melvin Your Mind presents the M3 Bearcast Friday, all chocked sort of. Chocked full of goodness. I'm sorry, it's the afternoon, guys. Catch me. I'm a little better. And then if you want to see more of me, you can do so by tuning in on Saturdays at 1 p.m. for the Saturday sit down. Don't pay no attention to the 12 noon sign.
Yeah, we'll get that.
1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where on this very network, if you're trying to catch us on YouTube, and some of you guys are looking at us on Facebook, all other outlets, X formerly known as Twitter, please go to www.youtube.com/Melvin Your Mind 2. Why, Malcolm?
Because they took one.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, we're here to bring you some stuff this today. What you got, Malcolm?
well, I got a few business stories. I know we're going to talk a little bit about Sinners. I'm looking forward to like the cultural conversation around it. I haven't seen it, obviously. I don't really get out to movies, but it was highly regarded. Like one of the biggest openings this year.
For a
Also,
uh,
um,
hero flick, yeah.
yeah, also one of the most highly rated movies. So it's rare that you have, one of those artistic achievements. It's also a cultural moment. So
So
we'll
real
talk.
quick, oh yeah, we'll talk about it. But real quick before we get into it, check it out. Like it's we need it right now. I
Yeah,
think I think that's the overarching thing. And listen, I'm a podcaster, so I was being nosy, and I was
mm,
listening in the lobby, and I started interviewing people, and
yeah,
I think it's important to see people of color flex power, and I think
yeah.
that was an
We're going
important.
to talk a little bit about that on the other side. Some of the business sides of the movie that I found kind of interesting in some of the conversations behind it. I'm just going to play a few of the news articles. Just going to pause and then we'll talk about them. Here we go.
Stock is way up. It climbed 12% after revealing some successful data from the third trial of a new weight loss pill that is as effective, reportedly, as Ozempic. It's called orforglipron, and it's the latest development in the GLP-1 space. Novo Nordisk, beware. Also, my pronunciation, beware. From there, we go to Chili's. So Chili's is starting to step on McDonald's McToes. After an impressive year-over-year growth, while fellow companies like TGI Fridays and Red Lobsters struggled, Chili's unveiled a new menu item called the QP, which, yeah, you guessed it, is a quarter-pounder cheeseburger. It can be found on their $10.99 3-for-me menu, which includes a beverage, an appetizer, and a main. Mark, it looks like McDonald's has to look out a little bit. This is a pretty good deal.
Everybody has to look out for Chili's. I mean, they are like the only chain restaurant that has seemingly just made good move after good move over the last few years, and this is certainly another one.
Luxury stalwart Hermes is the latest to hint at a price increase. Although the famous Birkin bag is tough to get and already around $10,000, the company is planning to hike prices on their items in the U.S. only. So, Mark, I guess people should try to get this bag now if they can.
This might be the most meaningless price hike of all time. I feel like Hermes could raise the price of its Birkin bag by 5x.
Oh, yeah.
And it would still be in just as much demand. And I mean, these bags are so hard to get. It's just so random. One of our reporters did a story about Birkin bags last year and talked to several people who'd had the opportunity to buy one. And for some, it would be like, they'd gone into the store tons of times and they'd never gotten the chance. Others sometimes get the chance the first time they go in there. Like, you have to be selected to have a chance to buy one of these bags. And even for luxury brands, which have not been doing all that well, all things considered, Hermes is still doing a bit better than the rest of their peers.
Yeah, they're still at the top of the game. Places like Gucci are not doing great. Places like Balenciaga are faltering, but Hermes and Prada is another one that's doing well, and they just merged with another Italian company, Versace. So definitely Hermes will make their money on this bag increase. TikTok is introducing Footnotes, the app's take on a community notes feature widely publicized from X. US users can now apply to become contributors and will be able to, quote, add relevant information to content on short-form videos on the platform. I'm excited to see what TikTok looks like next week. OpenAI is reportedly building a social network centered around ChatGPT's image generation capabilities. One insider at another AI company told The Verge that X's Grok integration has sparked jealousy in the AI industry, quote, especially how people create viral tweets by getting it to say something stupid.
We can go back to let's talk about. I haven't eaten at Chili's in so fucking long.
Me either. Yeah.
But I mean, like, those they call casual dining restaurants. Those
Mhm.
dining places. So Applebee's will fit into those. Chili's.
Mhm.
Um,
Fridays, they talked about that.
some say Outback, but Outback would say no. But
Mhm.
go figure. So what's happening is they are giving places like they're giving fast food places hell because
Mhm.
you can sit your badass kids down. You don't have to cook, and it's the same price as going through the drive-through.
Yeah, they were saying that quarter pounder meal from regular McDonald's is $10, and they're saying this quarter pounder one from Chili's is the same price, and they have an option, what they call Chili's to go, which is their app where you can order food and just pick it up.
Yeah, but just
Um,
you can
and
eat.
of course, you can obviously do it on any of the ride share apps or whatever. But
Think about if you want to get out, you want to have a cheap date. You can sit and drink, and they have bottomless fries that go with those.
mhm,
I think they failed to mention. I so my whole thing with as far as Hermes and Birkin bags and all that stuff, I'm gonna tell you, look, the economy. Hey, the economy will find a way to live. It is like fucking Jurassic Park. It's like, oh my gosh, they're making another one. What the fuck? Um, you
it's
know,
also kind of like the idea that during a recession, people who have money do better. I mean, the funny thing is, it's like they're saying they're raising the price, and we were kind of talking about how some of these items, these luxury items, can be investments, and with the
well,
price
but
going up and the difficulty of finding the bags to begin with, like the value of someone who already owns a Birkin bag is going to go up. You know?
well, and again, I say if you have the expendable income and
Yeah.
you're looking for an investment, listen, don't use it that much. Keep it in the bag. Keep it dust free. It will. There's. I read an article the other day. Cardi B's little girl wrote on her $38,000 Birkin bag. She wrote a heart
Oh no.
in ink, and so somebody posted, "Hey, you should just sell it as a Cardi B original." She was like, "I like that. I like that." So yeah, and so I mean, and as far as the other, I don't really know about the tech sector, so I don't. But I
Yeah.
can say the last thing I want to say about, but again, if you have expendable money, blue chip stocks are kind of blase blah, Walmart and all this stuff. Yes, but if you have the money and you want to look good, like Birkin bags, year over year,
Yeah.
have had a return because I read the story too. They've had a return of 11%. There's no stock out there doing anything is a
Right.
return that way.
Yeah. It was before the Trump administration. There was pretty good movement in the stockings. But yeah, not like that. Not any.
There was nothing moving from 11% year over year. Nothing. And it's like, oh, I don't want to spend that much money for a bag. Again, if you have to say that this is not for you, this story is not
Right.
for you,
Yeah.
bag is not for you. We're not going to run out and spend our children's college money on Birkin bags. But don't build your
Some
soft
people-
portfolio right on Birkin.
Yeah.
But what you can, if there was a windfall, and
Mhm.
it is, I always tell my clients, it is a safe investment. It is a safe investment.
Right.
You see videos, well, because the other question I get as well, you see the videos and people in China, fuck, everything touches China. Nobody cares. It's about exclusivity. It's about the limited run of the bag. It's about the quality of the bag, because no matter where the bag is made, the bag is still made with quality.
Yeah.
That's just like, I don't know. We're going through sheeps of shit, but yeah, Birkin bags, Hermes is
Yeah. Hermes. I didn't know the name of the company because it's funny when this came up on my feed. I realized like the names of luxury brands get thrown into music all the time. So I've heard the word Hermes before, but I didn't know that it was associated with the Birkin
So
brand.
yeah, the irony is when I was on vacation, I went into the store, and I quickly came out of the store. But you know, and you know, they were really cool. They welcomed us, and but it was just like a wallet was $4,800. No, fuck that. It was a billfold. There's a difference between a wallet and a billfold. And so, you know, now I like good wallets. This is a limited edition. Oops, I don't want to put nothing on it. I get some more damn wallet. Limited edition Tom Ford Crocodile Green. One of a kind. I'm not going to tell you how much it costs, but I do like stuff like that. I do like things that increase in value, and that, you know, my grandkids will lose one day. I love it. You know,
Yeah.
trash. What is this, Yank? You know, so it's. But I went in the store. It smells like money. You go in there. You go in the store. It smells
Yeah.
like the people treat you nice. They all but carry you to a sofa, and they give you espresso. And then they, you know what they do? Unlike other salespeople, you know, they start parading around the things that you.
And I was going to say there are people maybe who can't afford it, who could buy it for an investment. I'll tell you the scenario that sounds like an investment to me, which is like a person who's trying to fit in with, say, investors. Like, let's say you have a business, you're not necessarily making that kind of money, but you can, you know, borrow or scrape up enough money to get you an expensive item that you carry to, say, fundraisers to help you fit in with wealthy investors, or, you know, whatever it may be.
That's a good way to do that. You can rent from that. They have places you can rent those bags.
Yeah, you can, but I'm saying that
I would suggest rent them. I don't think
you could rent them, but what I'm saying is that it's an item that you only bring out maybe once or twice a year to show, and it's still an investment that you can, you know, that can accrue in value, because it's not necessarily like out of your range, but it's also not, you know, nothing to you.
Whole motherfucking Apple tag in mine. I just started. I've had it for years, and I just started carrying it because I was like, well, somebody was like, well, what do you have if you're not going to carry it? I know. I'm so definitely afraid of leaving it, you know, somewhere, and or Apple tag will fall out and I'll lose it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bad idea. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just try not to, and so I carry it in the winter because the heat will make it crack in the summer.
Okay, yeah.
And so I put it up so you won't be seeing it after probably May. I know that's ridiculous, but it's there. I have shoes that I paid that much for, and I wear them every 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
and I wear them to places. This is just really ridiculous. I wear them to places I'm only going to be there an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm away from people. You can't step on my foot. I make sure I go get a mani-pedi. My feet are greasy. You know, I don't want any smells in the shoe. It's a whole thing because the resale value of the shoe in good condition is, again, much more than I paid for. But I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I am trying to learn about this AI situation, and I understand, but is nobody concerned about where they're getting the information from? Like that is
So OpenAI is being sued by a lot of publications, most notably the New York Times, for having crawled their websites illegally for a lot of their stories and stuff. That is a problem. OpenAI in particular. Other websites and companies have their own database. That's one of the reasons why, XAI is just using all the Twitter data, from 20 years. They own all of that. And so they can use also not just the things that people post, but everything that they link to, they also have access to. So
as a user, can you say no to them?
No, that's part of the user agreement, I'm pretty sure. And that's true of Facebook as well. Meta has an AI, I forget the name of it. Same deal with Google Gemini. Everyone who has Gmail, everything that ever came to your email, everything you've ever searched is theirs.
So the new currency is data.
It is, yeah, and that's one of the reasons why Google, Meta, and X are probably going to be the leaders in it, because not only do they have this huge backlog of data, they have a currently updating, continuously flowing font of data that's coming in.
Unless, well, we won't have a government in the next 4 years. Speaking of, I read this article that the end of democracies or the changing of democracies, or when like Rome fell,
Yeah,
around when the entity of the government turned 250, and next year we're coming
oh yeah,
250th birthday, and the synopsis is we've reached all the deadly horsemen.
oh yeah. I know, like, people try to find patterns in it. There's something to be said about that. There's also something to just be said about like the instability that's going to be brought about by technological change and climate change. Those are really the two, things that are going to really shake up the world. So, like, one of the things that people aren't realizing, like, within the next 30 years, there are going to be major metropolitan areas, even within the United States, say like places in Arizona or Miami, that will be completely unlivable. And you can imagine that multiplied by 10,000. Like, so many other places throughout the world, there are going to be these huge migrations of people, you know, stacked with the idea that, automation is going to, cause a lot of people to become irrelevant in certain jobs. Like, even if you're not directly replaced by AI or robotics, your jobs will become so much more aided by them. And so things will be able to be produced with far fewer people. And so there will have to be some sort of like social governmental support for people to move into new jobs, or to just support those populations. And yeah, it's going to be crazy. I was just reading a book on that whole thing, and that's really the true reason why democracy as a is going to be tested.
Well, yeah, but we have the other markers that are not sustainable. Our debt is not sustainable. The socio-economic climate, all those things. But that's what I was reading. But go ahead.
That's the debt is kind of part of the climate change, right? Really. So
the debt is part. Well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, it's part of it. Yeah, here we go.
Is going to be its own thing or part of ChatGPT, but Sam Altman did post to X, quote, "Okay, fine, maybe we'll do a social app," following reports that Meta was working on an AI chatbot app. So things about to get spicy in the social media landscape. And finally, Netflix has its eyes on a $1 trillion market cap by 2030, according to anonymous insiders who attended a meeting in March. Netflix's current market cap is about $400 billion. Strategies may include courting more subscribers to its ad-supported tiers, gaining more live events, which they've been doing, which also have ads, depending on your tier, and exploring proprietary ad tech and new ad delivery methods. So a lot more ads on your Netflix, unless you're going to be willing to fork over the big bucks, even on the live events.
Yeah, so one of the things they were saying, YouTube and Netflix are kind of duking it out to be the largest in the entertainment space. And what's interesting about YouTube also, they mentioned, is that they're actually getting more subscriber programming, say for instance, like from Nickelodeon and Disney. Like, one of the things that kids kind of get placed with a tablet in front of them and they watch these little programs on YouTube. Well, they're getting original programming now. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube is trying to overtake Netflix, and Netflix is fighting back with ad-supported content. Basically, more ad. You can see more ads. No.
Well, I'll pay whatever I need to pay, so I won't.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I hate commercials.
Yeah.
I will pay anything not to happen. But go ahead.
Yeah, and another thing, I guess that was from before, they were saying OpenAI is considering opening a social media platform based around its image generation. If you notice, all the cartoon shit that's going on, it's real fun. I enjoy it, but I think it'll be something like Pinterest or not TikTok, but Instagram in its sense, where you can create images with Sora, I think is the name of the app, and
what Pinterest is yet, and still I don't like. I have it on my phone, and I look at images through it, like somebody said something. But
Yeah, Pinterest is kind of like a mood board for the internet, right?
Mhm.
Like you,
it took me 2 years to find out what that was. Good luck.
so like let's say you were planning a wedding and you just start looking at
I
wedding
know,
photos.
just saying, like,
Yeah.
so. The interesting thing is, ladies and gentlemen, I will be 52 next month. And the level, because I'm a podcaster and I have to do this and bring things to you all, I have to stay abreast of things. So I but only could imagine if I was like most people in my generation, low information. They kind of know what they know. They do what they do. They've been lawyering for 30 years and doctoring for 30 years. But it takes reading and it takes, I have to educate myself and update myself often and constantly to stay abreast of what a mood board is and what Pinterest is and what
Yeah.
the PS2 or 10 or the latest iPhone. So because just by natural degeneration, the human brain has less capacity to hold things of that nature as you get older. But we're going to have to find a way to expand that because we're going to have to. And I think that is the social construct problem that we're having now, why some of us feel left behind and they want to make America great again because they choose not to educate themselves and they choose not to go on with time. But baby cakes, let me tell you, time is going to go on without you. Innovation is going to go on without you. Either you are a friend of it or you at least try to understand it. I'm not really into AI, but I do understand its uses and what it's for. I do understand the basics and the concepts. So I always tell them, don't get into. Real quick, I always tell those who don't get into. Well, I'm not a tech person. There's going to be about 36 more months left where you just cannot say that.
Yeah.
You can everything. No, everything's not going to lit it, but the odds of you being able to be in something that's low information. I mean, because real quick, I love my life news free. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too.
I like that. Even if we didn't do the business news, I would be okay with that because I want to be as dumb as everybody else. And I think, and there's more people in that dumb part. And like, well, how can you call people dumb? Because you choose to be. You're not inherently dumb with information, but you choose to be. You choose to put yourself in a silo, and this is what I believe, and this is what. So I am just as happy as a plum. And somebody told me, you heard what the president said? No, I didn't.
And I really don't want to. Right.
Right. I
Right there.
have to repeat it.
Yeah.
I have to repeat it. I don't really want to know. And I feel, I just want to say, I feel fantastic about it.
All right, let me do a few more headlines. Here we go. Yeah.
Stop at about 2.
Uber and Waymo's robotaxi ride-hailing service is revving up in Atlanta this summer. The company's opened a wait list for interested customers, and the service will cover 65 square miles of the city to start.
This is wild. I was just in Austin, and I actually did take some Waymos while I was in Austin.
Oh, how'd it feel?
It was awesome. It was so easy and felt super safe. I was shocked at how safe it felt, and I was really surprised. Like, my friends in Austin had never taken one before. I took 2 while I was down there, and it really felt like they were prioritizing the Waymos over other drivers because, like, it was the first option for me multiple times. And the first time my wife told me not to do it, but then she was like, all right, if you want to try it, you can try it. And so I did it, and then I did it again because it was so much fun the first time. But
wow,
yeah,
okay,
big fan.
Was there any difference for you in terms of cost versus like a regular Uber? Was it the same cost, just no driver?
I think it was the same cost, just like no tip. Like you don't have to tip.
Yeah, pretty cool. You gotta wonder what's gonna happen to all the Uber drivers and taxi drivers out there. The FTC's antitrust suit with Meta started on Monday, and one of the biggest findings from it was that Meta revealed that in 2025, only 7% of time spent on Instagram is actually spent viewing content from friends, which means we've effectively taken the social out of social.
So yeah, Waymo is coming to Atlanta.
It's already here, sir.
Yeah, they have it on waiting list, but I think it fully rolls out this summer.
Well, I saw 2 in traffic today, so
yeah,
I think that's the full immersion date.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend of mine who said he went to the bar this weekend and had the kid in one, and he said he did, and it's He didn't speak too kindly of it. He just
Hmm.
said it was really weird. So I said to him, I said, you know, they're going to start doing porn in those things. You know, they're gonna go for long rides and start sucking
I
cock.
don't. Yeah, you get fined for that. People have tried. So like the cars have cameras in them.
Yeah. So what's the fine though? Is it worth the content?
I don't know. Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, oh, okay, but no.
Yeah,
He,
I think it's more than just a fine. I think it's like illegal. You know.
it is.
You
And
know.
then I was well. He was like, well, you know, I live downtown. I was at the bar downtown, so I only had to go a few blocks. So I was like, okay. But he was like, just removing the human element was so weird. I was like, because that was your first time. You were a
Right.
virgin. They busted your cherry at it, and he was like, I don't want another one. I was like, you get used to it. I'm telling you.
You will.
It's just like, yeah, you will.
It's an interesting point to make. It depends on where it is and what the statistics are. That's why they're rolling it out slowly. I think Atlanta's probably a good choice simply because of the traffic situation being so rough. It's kind of like
And the layout of the city too.
right.
So I tell people all the time, it's a city. There are major cities within the major city. So
Yeah.
like, each town has a downtown, like a major, like Sandy Springs has a whopping downtown. Alpharetta has or Buckhead is a sprawling metropolitan area within Atlanta. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you have a little further out where you have all the movie plexes and all the movie studios, which is a city within a city. And so, yeah, that would work. But so, Malcolm, you as a person that is sight challenged, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Fine. Yeah, I don't.
Would you buy a car that could drive you where you had to go?
Oh, that is a good point. Yeah, sure. I don't have a problem with it. When the technology is there, especially if it's fully rolled out. If I lived in a city that had the infrastructure, so here's the irony of these cars: is that the more of them that are on the street, the safer it is because they communicate with one another. You know, and it actually helps with the flow of traffic if the cars are communicating with one another. I think it really only takes about a 35% immersion rate to actually lower the overall level of accidents, and that's not just from the robo taxis, but from human deaths. The levels of actual deaths to human beings from cars is ridiculous. It's about 1 in 5 people are in a fatal or near fatal car accident in their lifetime. It's like 1 out of 5. That's crazy when you think about it. So yeah, I think even if the electric cars are less than that, and I think they're significantly less than that, you know, depending on the data, whatever, it's still unnerving to have a driverless car get into an accident because there's like, who do you blame? You know, like there's something about our human nature. Yeah.
Whoever the operator is, that's an easy legal question. Whoever the operator is of the driverless car.
Well, yeah, obviously, like the company will take it, you know, a hit, but I think just like as our, you know, primal minds want a human being to blame, you know, a single person.
I'm okay with blaming a corporation.
Yeah.
You want to go on the record as saying that, and then I don't know. It's I thought about my life 10 or 15 years ago, and like the automation that we have in my home now that I couldn't dream about 15 years ago. You know?
That's true.
Like I couldn't, you know, Uber had kind of existed on the fringes, but like I lived in New York at the time, so it really existed. But
yeah,
now to see the immersion of Uber and Uber Eats and DoorDash, and they have expanded to picking up packages and all of those things. Real quick station notification. If you're watching us on Facebook or anything of that nature, you can join us on YouTube and be interactive. I see a lot of you guys watching. Don't be afraid to ask a question. www.youtube.com/mailmeyourmind2. Why 2, Malcolm?
Because they took one. Let me do a few more stories. And we'll
50%
run it
of
back.
the general admission ticket holders of Coachella this year use the event's payment plan, according to Billboard. A 3-day general admission ticket starts at $649, big yikes, up from $429 in 2020. And it doesn't include lodging, transportation, or concessions. For the buy now, pay later plan, though, concert goers pay a $41 upfront fee, an amount that could generate millions with nearly 100,000 attendees expected this year. American Airlines is making Wi-Fi free on most of its flights starting in 2026 for American Airlines Advantage loyalty customers only. Previously, American charged up to $29 for Wi-Fi for a single flight. So at least they're opening up to some more people.
So Coachella, what was that? 40% of the people got it on a paid later plan, apparently.
I get it.
Um,
No bullshit, bro. If I knew Missy Elliott was there, I would have went.
People all have been raving about it. It's true.
Porta parties be damned. Porta parties be damned. I would have been like that. Vicky thing of being that would have been me for real. Like,
yeah, I've seen some people talking about their tents or whatever. Where they bring their own porta potty and their own shower and all this kind of shit.
Oh, real quick, internet thing is that yummy morsel herself, Kim Kardashian, is catching hell about letting her daughter go to Coachella without her. Who wants to go to Coachella with her mom? West, you have money, mama. You know, one of the richest little girls in the world. Go to
How old is her daughter?
West should be about, I don't know, her and Blue Ivy along with each other, maybe 11, 12.
Okay.
Now, we know Beyonce would not let Blue Ivy go to Coachella.
Right.
So, because Beyonce seems to be an old school black mama. So we know that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But so back to the festival.
Right.
Like if I would have known Missy Elliott, goddamn Dolce, and all my favorite bitches was there, I would have been like, yo.
Yeah.
Inside, I'm a 16-year-old white girl.
Yeah, there have been very few complaints about it. I mean,
it's one of the better run festivals.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm old, so I haven't been to a festival in about 20 plus years. So
yeah. You were saying like a lot of the age range is like, college age to fresh out of college, that phrase range.
No old folkies like me. There's no section.
I'm sure they are. I'm just thinking that's
Captain Lame section. There's no
100,000 people. That's a lot, right?
No, let's do the math on that point, people. $694 per ticket.
Yeah.
Times $100,000, and so shout out to Coachella. You're going to be getting your money over time. You're going to be getting
right
all year long. I'm investing into Coachella.
I know, right?
Come along with me.
This is like $40 down, $150 a month. For the next.
And then, of course, now I wonder is that. Then I'm going to research. I'll be back with you next Monday on another show to tell you, is there interest that goes with this? Hallelujah. We will see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Start doing 3 o'clock. We've doubled out. No, 3 o'clock is not bad.
It's whenever we can. Let me do a couple.
So I'm I started off tired, like because I start early. I'm a busy guy. So, this feels kind of right. Anyway, so like the last time I even thought about Coachella is when Beyonce did Coachella.
Right. I do remember. That was like a couple years ago.
2018.
Okay. That's been that long, huh?
Yeah.
I thought it was recent, but okay.
2018. I believe, yeah, and she turned into this massive network.
Yeah, I do remember that, yeah.
2018, and the only reason I know because I remember recalling the announcer saying, "Welcome to Beyonce's Homecoming 2018." Yeah. So what was that? 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Question: are you having a hard time keeping up with the decades?
I am. It is moving way too fast.
I thought it was me, because I was
Yeah.
I was in the car this weekend, and I was like, I was listening to XM Radio. Shout out to Dion Deasy. I was listening to XM Radio, and they have these stations. Now I'm confused. So they have the 2010s. They have the early 2000s. I don't know which one. So I have to listen to which Katy Perry song comes on, or which
Okay.
song comes. I want to know which decade it is. Someone in the audience, please help me to differentiate between the 2010s and the early 2000s. I do not know what is
They kind of blend together.
2009 from 2009 to what is it to 2020 is a decade, and
I guess so.
2020
Yeah.
to 2030, 29 is a decade.
I thought usually whenever the second number changes, so 2010 to 2019 would be a decade, but I don't know.
I
Yeah.
feel like an idiot. Like all these fucking money I spent on degrees, I can't read a calendar. Oh, yikes!
All right, let me do a couple more news stories to finish this off. Let's see what we got. It's not too
NVIDIA
many.
is boosting their U.S. manufacturing game. I wonder why. The company on Monday announced it has over 1 million square feet of manufacturing space to create and troubleshoot AI chips in both Arizona and Texas. Shout out to the tariffs.
This is part of the company's promise to produce up to $500 billion of AI infrastructure in the country. And to help design and operate the plants, they're planning to create digital twins, which we've talked about before, of factories and use robots for automation. So they're really putting everything into high drive. And also notably, this is just one of the many companies that has promised specifically $500 billion. We saw this from Apple. We saw this from OpenAI with its Stargate project. I just think it's kind of notable that somehow a sum that huge has started to feel normal in regards to U.S. investment. But yeah, this is yet another $500 billion project coming our way.
Yeah, seems to be the magic number nowadays.
Exactly.
Next, a survey of over 300 CEOs found that 62% expect a recession or other economic hurdle in the next 6 months, of course. This is up from 48% last month as uncertainty mounts surrounding, you guessed it again, tariffs. From there, we go to Sam's Club. The Walmart-owned retailer intends to open 15 new stores per year, plus remodel its about 600 existing stores, while CEO Chris Nichols expects membership sales and profit to double over the next 8 to 10 years, and that's per retail dive.
So Sam's Club and Walmart is this downward trend indicator. So people start shopping at those stores when they feel like the economy is shit, you know?
According to the parking lot to the one near my crib, the shit is, we've been in an economic downturn since the early 2000s. Listen, don't put my leg and tell me it's raining. Motherfuckers, and I think that is so stupid. I think just in general, we like the extra low prices. Now,
of course we do, but it's kind of like
not mentioned in this clip. They did not mention that Walmart and Sam's Club had took a terrible financial hit for aligning themselves with the president. And they, and yes, they're not expecting the growth of other retailers. I mean, which we have to see how that comes out. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, they did early on in his administration, but when the tariffs hit, people started going to their stores, like 10% increase in growth over, the previous year. But the other thing, though, is true that recently, Target is acknowledging that the boycott against their stores is actually taking a toll on retail. I don't know if it was a Q1 sales and numbers are coming out now. Yep. And so, like, there's
what Q1 is. It's quarter one. Go ahead.
Yeah. Those numbers are coming out this month, and I don't know if they've released theirs now. I haven't really heard, but I think they're trying to get ahead of the fact that those numbers are going to look bad and try to make some sort of PR stunt. Apparently, like, one of the executives at Target had a meeting either today or yesterday with Al Sharpton.
Yes,
it was yesterday, and they're trying to come up with some way to get ahead of the bad numbers that are going to be published. It's something.
Well, so I'm gonna give y'all shout out to black people. Mwah. Love you. I mean,
They don't need Target no more.
let me tell you something. I am so proud of y'all. Y'all motherfucker, y'all niggas won't vote, but you will. After the shit hits the fan, we will stick together. So, amen.
I think it's like a cultural thing too. It's kind of like we will shame you. Like you went where? you going to buy that from who?
One of those things that listen.
Yeah.
I'm loving this, people.
Yeah.
I love this for us. And we are, and they, because what they wanted to do is bait us to in the streets so they could arrest us and have clips to show, look at the niggas in their natural habitat showing off.
Yeah.
Niggas getting arrested, backing us into corners. And,
it's like,
not,
this is y'all's fault. Y'all fix this shit.
Yeah, no, we good. No, and I'm a member, like, I'm a member of several organizations. Like the Sierra Club, all kinds of shit. And I get those phone calls, and I get those emails. I'm to the house.
Yeah.
Don't expect my money, because my money's in the house too. Planned Parenthood, thank you for the abortions over the years. I appreciate it. But no more money. If white women don't care about their own pussies, I can't care about your vagina more than you care about your vagina. Amen, white woman. And so here's the thing, and then the lovely thing is, like, white women, dear white women, you are not a victim. You are just as complicit in the hierarchy because you think you will succeed emulating white men. That's your thing. You think if you emulate white men, you will be in close proximity. No, they keep telling you every time this ain't for you. Sat down, not for you. So I want you to say there's no home over here for you. They don't care. And dear Spanish people of all stripes, that if you voted for Trump,
yeah.
Home over here for you. Why ain't y'all allow people getting stuck in Venezuela? So what? Don't nobody care. We to the house. We learning line dances. We gotta buy fans to boot scoot with. We popping fans and figuring out how we gonna sell our children to buy Beyonce tickets.
Yeah.
Or how we can go get Tabitha Brown stuff without having to go to Target to get it.
Right.
Go to TabithaBrown.com and get your lunchbox. Listen.
This is true.
Yeah. We're trying to figure out those things. We're trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with Kanye. We got other shit to do that does not involve. Now, what I have heard is some people that are way smarter than I said, come 2026, we are going to make a push for midterms.
I hope so.
Georgia, yeah. And here in Georgia, one of my favorite, we have two senators here. There was a black and a Jew. It's a joke somewhere. So Senator Ossoff is being challenged by Marjorie Taylor Greenface. She won't win.
Right. She's unlikely to even win the primary, but I mean,
yeah, she's likely not to win the primary.
Right.
They're throwing shoes at her, and he is, for whatever reason, him and Senator. Oh God, have you seen his ass?
Oh yeah, he's cute. Yeah.
That nigga got like basketballs on his back. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? How did you get to? No, that's a man of God, because Jesus had to put that ass on that back. Jesus put that man's ass.
I was going to say that it's funny that we mentioned this. I was having this conversation online with somebody. Why is it like these civil rights, icons are all attractive? Like if you think about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King,
Hey, Malcolm X slept with Ben back in the day.
Their ass is fine, right? Like, just be real.
Well, yeah, it is alleged that Reverend Warnock is a woman beater. It is alleged. Yes, Warnock.
But he is attractive, though. Let's be real.
Yeah, but that don't. Listen. I turn up to somebody. And listen, all I want to say.
All right, I'm gonna move on. Let's do a few more, and then we're gonna talk about centers real quick. Let's see.
Netflix's Q1 totals are in and they are gargantuan. The company brought in $10.54 billion in revenue for the first quarter, up 13% from the same quarter last year, with a $2.89 billion profit. Netflix doesn't publicize subscriber numbers really, but it's believed that the streamer has about 700 million subscribers worldwide. If you're a consistent Temu or Shein customer, tariffs are here for your rude awakening. Both Chinese retailers are expected to raise prices, with Temu saying it'll hike rates on April 25th specifically. This, of course, after President Donald Trump announced a 145% tariff on all Chinese imports. And finally, Meta's court battle with the FTC is ongoing, but what can the social company lose from this antitrust suit exactly? Well, Meta could lose Instagram, WhatsApp, or both if the trial goes the FTC's way. This means the company would lose about half of its ad business.
Yeah. So if you didn't know, there's a trial going on right now for antitrust for Facebook.
I could care less.
Yeah.
Honestly.
They were thinking about spinning off Instagram anyway. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, like, so my whole thing is, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest, none of this shit don't bother. I don't care, because once you peed on me, you tell me you don't give a fuck about me and mine. None of this stuff, man. I don't care. White people, all this shit falls into the ocean. Leave me a pack of noodles and some soda. And I hate to be this way, because I was at a point, and even in my podcasting career, where I really cared. I volunteered, I made phone calls, I knitted blankets, and I shook babies and kissed hands. But I'm like most Americans. When you tell me to fuck off, I'm gonna get to fucking. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Because it's just it doesn't, like, we know how the trial's going to end, because Trump is what you call his homeboy.
Oh yeah. I'm not invested in it actually winning.
No, Meta ain't going nowhere. We know, and we know.
Because I'm like, even if they win it, like I don't know how having as much money as they do, that when they actually do the settlement of how they're going to divide up the company, that is still going to benefit them, win or lose. I feel like you just have enough power and influence.
It's going to take them. It's going to be like Martell. Martell got sued in the 80s. Them niggas they didn't finish until like 2004.
Yeah.
Them 20 years to split up Martell. So good luck, white people. Love you.
Yeah.
Listen.
So yeah, we were going to talk about Sinners. You got about 10 minutes, so I want you to have enough time.
You, Malcolm, I appreciate you for allowing me 10 minutes. Anyway, so yeah, this weekend I had the Black Boy Joy. So I didn't have much faith in this movie because I'm not a vampire.
You didn't? Like, I'm surprised. Okay.
No, I'm just not. Like,
okay.
I ain't think good.
I think for me, I haven't seen it, but I'm just saying the thing that got me was the original music that was being touted. Like the composer who helped create the soundtrack. Like, we knew that was going to be slapping, right? I don't know. How was the music? That's a good question because I haven't heard it yet. But.
It matched. It matched the energy of the film. The voices were beautiful. Like, I don't know where they found these singing ass folk from, even the white people. Like, it was amazing. Like, and music was such an integral part of the story. And of course, as a person, I like that. Now, I'm gonna tell you something.
When got me interested, yeah.
Well, let me tell you, when a motherfucker can play twins, you can tell the difference between the twins. Like, they are actually twins. Like, you'll know who is talking to who, and not just by wardrobe or some aesthetic. Like, they both have Southern accents, but there is a distinct difference in one and the other.
Yeah. Like,
where they went to start their life, one of them has more of that accent than the other one does, and it is just amazing. And then, so I would be shocked if he does not get an Oscar.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder how that works too. If you're playing two characters, are you credited as a single actor or two roles? I don't know.
He'll be a single actor. He'll best lead.
Interesting. Yeah.
Best lead and best lead actor, and and Ryan Coogler is definitely a shoe-in for. I couldn't imagine anything else coming out this year to reach to that level. And so let's real quick. I would love to discuss the importance of the film. I will not be giving away any spoilers, so no need to turn away, people. can watch. The importance of the film tells a tale of 1932 Clarksdale, Mississippi. Sorry, and it tells a tale of Jim Crow. It tells a tale of the Great Migration, all things that we've talked about before. The Great Migration, race and gender, and there, and then, so a lot of people believe, like in the Cuban culture, there's some type of voodoo worship. I don't even want to say the name of the religion because I try to stay away from it. But and it's believed that some deity worship came from Africa, and all of those things. It explores all those things. It explores the blackness, the relationship that Black people had with Irish people back in the day, which we were tight because we were all being persecuted. Irish people and you see some Asian people in there, and you have to pay attention to some fine nuances there. And it is a wonderfully weaved story of the Jim Crow South. It sounds so crazy. The Jim Crow South, music, and vampires. Not something.
Yeah.
Not something I would have been like, hey, look at you, Google, I'm on board.
So one of the things I was going to say from the business side, and some people have criticized the way it was covered, was Ryan Coogler's deal with Warner Brothers for his movie. And he was basically asking for a similar package that Quentin Tarantino gets for his films, which is to revert ownership back to himself after 25 years so that he can own his filmography after he retires, basically.
Yes, right?
Yeah, they did. And they gave it to him. And
it was for him, yeah.
He also asked for, profits prior to, how do you say it? There's a way that you get paid after gross versus net. So he wanted his payment due on gross. Right. Yes. So it was after, because a lot of times people get pushed out if it doesn't do well, and they're getting much lower payments rather than just.
Because he knew how unlikely this story. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
This was a gamble. He knew because they pushed back this release a couple times.
Mm-hmm. They did, yeah.
And so the total global take was $63.3 million globally this weekend.
Right. And so I think he gets like 1% of that global gross rather than net, because a lot of times people will get, based on after they paid all their bills or whatever. And so if you don't break even, you don't get much of anything.
Well, I think they just paid for it. So
he's getting his money's worth. And I think it's cool that, like if you consider yourself an artist, that you get to own your films after, a significant amount of time. 25 years is a long time, but
not if you're young and you're going to retire. You know what I mean?
Exactly, right? Yeah.
Because I'm going to be, 75? Fucking.
Yeah, this is true. He's gonna be making movies for a while.
Yeah, he's gonna be, and so really, all he did was took Tarantino's deal and took it to white people. He took it to Warner Brothers just like Tarantino took it to Warner Brothers.
Basically, yeah.
The thing that I love about Warner Brothers, I'm a fan of Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
Brothers gave us people like Prince. The upper echelon and the brass there seem to have their kind of pulse on what's forward. They're a very forward thinking company.
Yeah.
So and the thing is, and just cinematically, it is sweeping. It is beautiful. But in this time that we live in, it touches on some things that we absolutely need to see. We need to see upwardly mobile Black people. That is important. And
yeah,
please go check out what the film in itself represents, because you're going to be shocked. Malcolm, you have to go see it.
Yeah, I will.
So,
Yeah.
Sinners in theaters right now.
Yeah.
Then it overtook What was it?
Minecraft movie. Yeah.
Minecraft movie, which was unheard of. They thought now somebody over there getting shot. Somebody in Minecraft camp was like, "Bitch, what the fuck?"
Yeah, I mean, Minecraft's been out 2 weeks, and it's been trying to be one of those movies that just stays at number one for weeks on weeks. But
Yep.
yeah,
Lost that bid.
no, they did.
So it's just, it's one of those things that you look into it, and then the performances were so. It was so good to see Delroy Lindo. I don't think you know who he is.
Mm-mm.
Delroy Lindo has been in this business 40 years. And he's one of those character actors that just bails and bits. Did you ever see that Aaliyah movie, Romeo Must Die?
Yes. Yeah.
The guy that played her father was.
Oh yeah. I know him. He's actually kind of hot to me. I don't know.
He was as an old man. Delroy Lindo, and then it has, and I did not realize how hot Michael B. Jordan is.
How did you not? He's been like
I just didn't.
the world's hottest man several times in a row.
Yeah, and then because I just took him at that, but he's
Right.
a serious actor.
Yeah.
Serious actor. And I'm gonna tell you the other thing that I enjoyed about this. I had to go to Jerusalem to see this film.
Yeah.
Seats were packed. Asses were in those seats, and the concession stand was long as shit. We got to the girl. She was like, "I'm tired."
No, that's good because they were saying prior to this month, theaters have not been doing well. Now there has also been some theater worker strikes in New York, in particular, back in March. So, but no, theaters needed this. They really did. They were not doing too well.
Now I pray that there's not a sequel to this.
Yeah, doesn't seem like it would be.
Oh no, it could be.
Yeah.
It could be. We'll talk about it once you see it, but it could be, but I hope not. And then it just, I think the last time I saw something this important was maybe like Do the Right Thing. It's very important. And I always try to see black movies like this the first weekend. So so the numbers can count.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So the world knows I'm not a huge Tyler Perry fan, but I do. If he has something that's a theatrical release, I try to stream it, whether I want to watch it or not. I try to stream it or buy a ticket to it and don't go, because regardless of what I think about TP's work or how I perceive it, it's important that he still makes it.
Yeah, I can say his box office success helps a lot of people in the industry.
It does, and as a person, I think he's fantastic. I have, disagreements with how he produces his work. Because I'm a movie.
That's a good point. And he doesn't seem like an asshole.
He doesn't seem like an asshole, and so people are like, why you buy a ticket? Because he's a black man in this world trying to make it. Like, why not? Like, you waste $20 on anything else, and it's like a donation of goodwill. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I would say for myself, like Tyler Perry movies make my eyes roll to the back of my head, unless the guys are.
They do. He has bad wigs and bad writing.
But yeah, like on a personal level, if you love it, I'd love it for you. Seriously, not in a sarcastic way. And I'm happy.
Not trying to be a dick about it.
Yeah.
All right, listen. So what I want you to do is tomorrow, come right back here. Come right back here at 7 p.m. Catch our man Swag for Life, and M3 presents the Swag Suite, hosted by none other than that cutie patootie from the South. Swag for Life, 7 p.m. Standard Time. Now, if you just can't get enough of Pinky and the Brain over here, check him out Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Malcolm the Philosopher King. I failed to mention that he is the founder of the M3 Network. And we appreciate you for all that you do. Wednesdays, 7 p.m. And don't forget the Bearcast each and every Friday. There are tons of episodes in the can. M3 presents the Bearcast, hosted by your man Malcolm Travers. Wherever you get your fine podcast from, Apple Music, Spotify, all those wonderful places to get that. Back in the building in May, not this week, but he won the trivia game on show Saturday, so I gave him 2 more weeks off. Yay! The Diggler Digest, Diggler, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Back, new and improved, chock full of show on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch me on Saturdays at 1 p.m. Pay attention to the noon that's written there. Pay no attention.
You get it.
Standard Time, and I'll be with the Saturday Sit Down hosted by me. And let's not forget our homie Pastrami from Minestrone, our man Thick Night Gaming, Mr. Snapping Ben, him and the Blurred Council will be there Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to host and have you rejoice in all things thick. So you will see our shining faces Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Come right back. Thank you. I do like this 3 o'clock hour, so I'm going to dare say, catch us back next day at 3 p.m.
I have to change it now again. Just change it.
And the audience seems to like it.
Yeah, that's true. I can do 3. I can do
3 is a lot better. Because like today, we'll talk about it later. But now there will not be Patreon. But what I want you to do is join us on Patreon. Normally we do it 3 minutes after. www.patreon.com/mailmediamind. And what it does is to give you access to our oh my God, what is this?
Telegram.
Thank you. Our Telegram, we exclusive content. You can say hello to the host. You can present whatever you think is great show ideas. We take polls. We release content early, and there's an adult content side that somebody.
Yeah, I do like a porn dump basically every Sunday. It goes.
So fantastic. Please join him for that porn dump.
You don't have to get on Twitter.
He watches porn, so you don't have to. Boo hoo hoo. So catch me on Instagram at Instagram, The Talented Mr. Drayton. You can catch M3 on all socials, Mail Media Mind, Facebook, Instagram, X formerly known as Twitter. Fuck you, Elon. Are we on Blue Sky yet? Somebody asked me.
We are on Blue Sky.
Mail Media Mind. Please join us. Thank you. This is the love of my life, guys. I really enjoy doing this. I think every time pulling up, Malcolm, thank you for the opportunity. I tell people all the time, listen, it's a job.
Yeah.
We have to tweak things. It's definitely a job, but I really appreciate it. I have to roll, but I appreciate it. See you guys tomorrow night, 7 p.m. The Swag Suite, right here on M3. Thank you. We know you have your opportunities